What's up, guys? It's me here again today instead of cheese. And because I've seen a lot about it online, I personally haven't had that issue. I figured I'd get into the issue of starting your own franchise in Planet Zoo, which just released as a beta. And the issue of going broke right after you start. So we're just gonna start our new zoo. I have a little bit more money than you have when you just start out the game, because I've been doing 2 playthroughs already on a stream over on Twitch. But that shouldn't make a difference. So yeah, we're starting creating our own our new franchise, our new zoo. And the first thing we're doing, just because that way you won't lose any money, you don't need visitors right now, we'll hit the pause button. The first things we need, obviously, before we can start adopting any animals is our facilities. We start off with a path that we just need for our personnel. We'll just build that off in this way. Go over here for quite a bit, because there is actually quite a few buildings that we need. And those paths don't even, like, they're not expensive. Then we go into the facilities, staff facilities, and just start placing things down. Hold on. Get rid of these trees here. They're kind of in the way. This one we can't. The first thing we need is the, where is it? The trade center. We'll just put that right here next to the pathway. We need a keeper hut. We need a research center. I actually usually just start off by putting in 2. Because at the start you have the money and it just makes your progress a lot easier and a lot faster. It makes your animals more happy, which means you also make more money off them. This one doesn't go here because it's too large, so we put it over here. We need a staff building for our workers to sit down and relax on their break. We need a surgery for our vets, for injured animals. And we need a workshop. And it doesn't have to look the prettiest, because these staff paths, your visitors actually don't go to. They can't walk on those. So it doesn't really matter how it looks. Then we want to go into utilities. I usually start off with 2 transformers just to be safe, and 1 water treatment plant. Just smack them right at the end there. And then we start with the first animals. The cheapest is usually the African wild dogs. Let's see if we can find anything cheap-ish. Okay, there's a female here for 55. Let's see if we can find a male that matches. Let's buy this one first. Let's adopt the female. Never mind, she's no longer for adoption. So sometimes that's a little bit of an issue, that the animals sell quick. You'll just have to go through a couple times. Usually for the start, especially, it's the easiest to just go for the cheap ones. And you don't need, that's the other thing, you don't need to start out with a full group of 12 animals or something. Even just getting 1 actually works for the start. Okay, there's a male for 10. And a female for 30. That works. Okay, now we start off by building a path to the habitat. I actually learned, because that gets to be a problem later on. I start building the pathways wider already from the get-go. Just that way you don't have the visitors piling up and not able to get through anymore when you get a little further along. Especially the part right here by the entrance. You want to have a little wider, just to make your own life easier later on. Then we start with the barriers. We'll just put the enclosure right here. Start here in the corner. Over here, there's only going to be staff. So we don't need to use the glass. We can just use the brick wall. And for some reason, we can't build further here. There we go. And the African wild dogs don't need a lot of space. They don't need a pool or anything. Okay. So this part, nobody's gonna walk past that. If we change the paths later, we can still change the walls. But this part up front here, the only place we need glass for now. Then we're gonna need a habitat gate. And if we go into habitats, we just start out super easy. We put in a food tray, put it kind of close to the fence. That way your animals are attracted to the fence and the visitors can actually see something. And then we put in the water pipe over on the other side, also close to where the visitors are actually going to be. We need a shelter. For only 2 wild dogs, the small one is fine. And you can see, like, right now, we're down a little money. We started out with, what, 40,000? 50,000, something like that. We haven't spent too much yet, and we're almost done with the super basic setup. We can't do any enrichment things yet because we haven't researched anything yet. So we start out with just food, water, shelter. Works. Then if you go into facilities, to the guest facilities, we need the donation boxes right here. Just put a couple along the glass wall where your visitors are going to be. Put an ATM. I actually like to put a couple more ATMs around just because, you know, they're super cheap and they actually do make people spend more money. And then just across the side, right by the entrance, I'm gonna put all of these little booths for drinks and food. Gonna put the info shop right next to it as well. And the merch store. And the other thing we're gonna need is toilets. Put these right next to it too. And that's pretty much all you need to start, actually. We go into animal trading. And we pick those 2 wild dogs. You can see that I have a bunch more animals in there. Those are from my other playthroughs, so we're not going to use them. Put in the male and put in the female. And to get all of those in there, obviously we need some staff. So in the beginning, it's more than enough to start out with 1 of each. A caretaker, a keeper, 1 mechanic, 1 security guard. I'm still not sure actually what the security guard does. And a vet. That's all we need for now. So we hit play. Let them do their job. Move the animals in. Can actually fast forward a little bit to speed that up. Now the wild dogs are moving in, which means we can start research. That's one of the first things you actually do need to do. Just so you can make your animals happy, and the happier the animals, the more visitors they attract, they breed, all of those things. So the happier your animals, the more money you make, basically. What's in here? They have low welfare because they need enrichment. And for some reason, apparently they have crowding issues. But that's something we can deal with. Okay, research complete. We'll do some more research. I just leave the research running until we've got everything. And every now and again, check in the habitats, in the enrichment, see what you can do. Throw in some sprinklers. Now they're a little more happy. Done some more research. And we're still, like, right now we're down to 6,000. Because we also have to pay our staff. We have to pay for the food and everything for the animals. But you can see that we're still like, it's going up and down a little bit. If we just leave this running, it'll go up slowly. The biggest issue or the biggest mistake you can make in the very beginning is just go massive. Start building a massive zoo. That's what I'm saying. Like right now, they're not 100% happy. Apparently, they would like some more space. How much space do they want? Yeah, a little bit more. We can expand that. But start out with something small. Start out with a small enclosure. Just 2 animals, maybe even 1 animal. And let it run for a bit. Don't overexert yourself. Don't try to build every enclosure right from the get-go. Start out small. Let it run. And now we're already at 7.5k. So it's going up. It's going up slowly, but it's going up. Our research is complete again, which means we should be able to put in food enrichment. And put in a ball for them, which makes them even more happy. And because right now we do have the money, we can actually expand the enclosure a little bit. We'll start with the glass wall. Go along this way. Yeah, let's go up here. And then switch to the wall again where nobody can see it anyway. Just connect that up here and remove these parts. And now we should actually see that they're happy. Meal quality. Apparently you can change the quality of the food they get. Somehow. I still haven't figured out how exactly it's supposed to work. But yeah, that goes up as you do research. And just have all of your things running. We've got more research complete. And we're already at $9,000. So we started out with... I'm not sure exactly what we started out with. I should have looked at that. But when we finished our building, we were at 6,000. We've been going for apparently now almost 2 years in game time, and we're almost at $10,000 already. So if you just start small, build up slowly and over time. I've never had that issue actually that I would just go broke immediately. But yeah, if after you've finished your first enclosure, let it run for a bit. Don't immediately start on the second one or the third one. Don't start with 1 million enclosures. Start out small, and you don't have an issue with money. These just 2 animals, super cheap to keep. 1 for each staff, and somehow our visitors got over there again. I have no idea how they do that, actually. I've had that issue on my other playthroughs as well, that somehow some visitors would figure out a way to get stuck on the staff path. I'm not sure how they get over there. I feel like that's like a bug in the game that still needs to be fixed. But yeah, now we're already $11,000, making profit. We're doing okay. And once you actually have your enclosures going and everything, you could even go into, for example, the zoo entrance, raise the prices a little bit. You start out super cheap. Just raise that up to about 6 and 4, for example. You're making a little more money. The ATMs, you can raise the prices. You can get a little bit of a fee, even just 20 cents. Over the time, it stacks up. Put a fee on the bathrooms. 50 cents for using the bathroom. It's not much, but it'll pile up. So yeah, now we've had it running for a year and a half almost. I'd say almost 2 years. We went down to 6,000 after finishing all the building. Now we've doubled that money already. We're at 12,000. Super easy. Eventually, come here. Eventually these 2 will breed, and you can start getting into selling the babies, which will also get you some more money, which will help buy new animals, expand your zoo. But yeah, just start out small. That's the best advice. Start out small. Don't try to go insane right at the beginning. Like, yeah, they're not maybe the, like, I don't know, most interesting or most expensive and lucrative animals. But to get your zoo going and to get your money going, it works perfectly fine. So you start with the wild dogs. And when you feel like you've gotten enough money to build your second enclosure, just see what else could we get. From wild dogs. Got a lot of wild dogs. And I've actually, in the beginning, the very first time I played the franchise mode, I made the mistake of buying a bunch right from the get-go. You don't need to do that. They start breeding so fast. And they breed so much. There we go. Already got, 4 or 5 babies? We've got the 5 babies already running around. And I think they take quite a while to grow up. So we'll make a little cut here and I'll be back in a second when they're all grown up and we can actually sell them and make some profit off them. Be right back. All right, and we're back. The puppies are all grown up. So you have to wait actually for your animals or your babies to grow up to adult age because you can't sell the babies. Okay, let's hit pause here real quick again, and we'll go through. We'll go through our animals and see which one are actually worth selling. Because if you click here in the top right on the genetics, you'll see different stats for your different animals, and basically the better they are, the more money your animals are worth. So we'll go through here. I actually saw that I have one puppy in here that's pretty decent. And I try to, in the beginning especially, keep those. But for right now, we'll just see how much money we can get for any of them. This is our alpha male, which we bought in the beginning. Where are you? That's another baby. This one here, for example, should make quite a bit of money. So yeah, if you select your animal that you want to sell, go back to the overview, send the animal into storage in the trade center. We'll just do that with all the babies real quick. Because, especially the wild dogs, they breed like rabbits. Like, you'll never have an issue that they don't breed enough. Okay. Then we send them all off. This one as well. And then we go into our trade center. Animal trading. And if you go here to the second tab, Animal Trade Center, you'll see all your animals. A good way to start is always go to the actual animal market. Check the African wild dog, which we're trying to sell. See how much people are selling them for. All of these are insanely expensive for some reason. They don't even have really great genetics or anything. So I feel like we can make quite a bit of money with that. We go back to our animals. And if you pick one, it'll actually suggest you a price here. You can go higher, you can go lower. We're actually going to go a little higher. We're not going to go insane from the get-go, just so we can make sure our animals sell quick if we need the money. So for this one, we'll just go up to 50. And it can take up to 24 hours if you auction them off. If you need the money instantly, you'll get less, but you can release your animals into the wild. We'll get 7, I don't know what they're called, but 7 credits for that. If you release certain animals into the wild. But because we don't need the money right now, we're not desperate for it, we'll just put all of them up for auction. And because they have decent genetics, I feel like we can get away with selling them all for 50. They should sell pretty quick. 50 for this one, and for this one, I'll go with 50 as well. So yeah, you'll have to, if you put them up for auction, it can take up to 24 hours. I think I have one animal left actually. Yeah, a timber wolf that's still up for auction. A lot of the time, especially if you sell them cheap, they go pretty quick. But yeah, if you want to get rid of them right now, release them to the wild. You'll get less money for it, but you get it instantly. But yeah, I think that's actually pretty much it. And then you just let your zoo run again, wait for them to breed again, more babies, sell them, or breed them up and sell the ones with the worst genetics, whichever you'd prefer. And you're pretty much good to go. But yeah, I think that about wraps it up for today. I hope I could help and actually had some reasonable advice to help you get your own zoo started. Words. But yeah, if you enjoyed the video, if you learned something, smash that like button. And for more daily video game awesomeness, don't forget to subscribe. Bye, guys!